They lost that there. There's two games that I can think of without looking. God of War. We'll come back to that when we get to the games without the release date, because I wouldn't be surprised if that gets delayed. Starfield. I need to talk about Starfield for a moment. This is a little off topic, but is anybody else worried about Starfield? Like, Bethesda has
ever since I watched the two videos with Fallout 76 from Matt McMuscle, yeah, I am a little fucking scared for Starfield, considering how like.
While I still trust a lot of the development stuff in Bethesda, like I don't think the company's a total utter mess. I just think they make some really, really bad decisions and some really shady ones too.
Yeah.
I won't go into that, but Starfield, like, think about Skyrim, right? Like, what are some of the things how we knew? As a matter of fact, Skyrim was one of the first times in my life that I realized this game cannot suck. When it comes out, it's not gonna suck. It already looks like game of the next 3 years. It looked that good. That's the problem. They showed it off. We don't know fucking anything about Starfield, and sometimes that would be okay. Like Sonic Origins, right? Even if it's a remaster, was just not announced, but because it was delayed. But they just announced like release date, and they're like next month, and they showed a bunch of shit, and it's like that looks good. You know, Nintendo does this all the time with some games like that. They did it with Mario, where they're like, here it is, 6 months later. Starfield is a little different. It's huge. There's so many things you have to cover with this game. You would think they'd be showing it by now.
Yeah, did you see what they said about the planets for Starfield in terms of their size?
No.
I don't know how many planets are going to be in Starfield, but I'm pretty sure I heard that they said that each of the planets is going to be bigger than the map of Skyrim.
Let me get comments up.
And that is.
So if anybody's been commenting, I'm sorry, I don't have them up right now.
I'm unsure of how many planets are going to be in that game. So if they are trying to make every single place you go to bigger than the map of Skyrim, I'm a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to say because I'm scared of like what's going to be happening in terms of like quest, like quest quality. You're gonna get a ton of fetch quests with that kind of size to the game.
I think that you have to sacrifice a lot of quality for. I need to see this game. If I don't see this game by the end of the summer, at minimum, because really we should have seen some stuff by now, I'm going to write this one and say, this is not going to be. No, it'll probably be a disaster. Because that's the thing. Like, Bethesda. So, this is the type of game that it's got all this hype because it's Bethesda. And even though, like. So, Fallout 76 was a disaster, correct. Elder Scrolls Online maybe didn't meet the hype, but it's pretty good. Like, Elder Scrolls Online has a lot of great things in it. The thing with Fallout 76 is I think a lot of Bethesda fans are hanging on the fact that, well, it's kind of this like side thing and blah, 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 you know, so maybe this or that. Well, there used to be a time where they thought about that about Sonic the Hedgehog. There was a time when Sonic Adventure 2 came out, and then you had Sonic Heroes, and the next few games was like Riders, Shadow the Hedgehog, just kind of these weird games. And the next mainline one that had a lot of hype, even when they showed it off, people were like, this is going to be good, was Sonic 06. And the reason people still held on hope that it was hyped and that it was going to be good is because they wrote the other ones that weren't very good off as these weird side games. Don't make that same mistake, because now I said it a couple years ago on our stream, and I still think Elder Scrolls 6 is fine. Will there maybe be a couple controversies? Well, it wouldn't be modern day Bethesda without the controversies. Will the game be fine? I don't think they're going to fuck that up. Starfield, they can afford to fuck up, because if they fuck this up and it looks really, really bad, then basically people just say, well, the last 2 Bethesda games were very good, but one of them's a new IP that were over ambitious, blah, blah, blah. I would not be surprised if Starfield, and that's the thing, is like, I don't think it'll just be like bad. Like, some people don't like Fallout 4. I think that this game is either boom or bust.
I think that this game is going to have, like, especially considering the fact that this is the first game that they're making using their new development engine, there is a lot of room for error. Because you know how Bethesda is with their games. Like, the games look really fucking good. They look really fucking good and they play fine, but there's a lot of bugs. And with a completely new creation engine, that's just going to be multiplied. That's just going to create all sorts of new areas for them to completely just basically lose track of themselves in.
I want to say right here, right now, on 420, blazing the date, I am officially worried about Starfield. And no, it is not because I, much like you, watched the Matt McMuscle's Fallout 76 video recently. It is just mostly because, like, this
with
game,
me, it's also with the track record for the company. As
the
to
recent,
what,
the
recently,
recent track record is one thing. I just think for me overall, I'm like, this is a big game. We should have seen something by now. Well, okay. Here's one last aspect to this. Okay, let's say in theory it's gonna get delayed. Well, here's another thing Bethesda likes to do. For them to delay Zelda to spring, that's one thing. Because Nintendo is like, would we like the holiday release? Yes, but it's not the be-all, end-all. Bethesda loves the holiday release. They are like, we have to get this out in November. That's something Fallout 76 will tell you. Instead of delaying that fucking game for another year, which maybe the game in concept sucked, but in terms of the bugs and stuff, like, you know, they were like, no, this has to be out in fucking November. They are that type of company. They're like, we want it in November. We want it with the competition. We want everyone to get this for the little kiddos for Christmas, all the moms and dads to buy it. They want that money now. So that is one thing about Bethesda. They don't want to wait. That's another thing that worries me. If this didn't have a release date, I would be kind of like, oh, okay, you know, they have time to delay it. Maybe people be disappointed, but no. You said November 11th. That sounds very firm in terms of their history.
Yeah, because they love releasing
fucking
it on 11th. Because that was the date that they released Skyrim on, was 11/11.
Yes, it
2011.
is. Yes, it is.
So that's a pretty big day for them. Like, if they'll probably try to push it out at that point.
But like Skyrim was like announced like 2 years before it came out. You know, when at the Game Awards, it was almost, maybe it was like a year and 11 months or something. Like, it was quite a bit of time. Even if it was a year, we had seen some stuff. They showed, it's
been years longer than after this game was announced that they haven't even showed anything.
So I'm officially worried about Starfield. I am concerned because I want to like it. I like the idea of an Elder Scrolls, their gameplay style in space, you know. But I don't know. Well, there's an extra topic I didn't mean to throw in there, but I saw it and I was like, I actually